felt very much in my spirit like wherever she was going to be, I was going to miss her, that she was going to be far away from me, but I didn't know what that would mean. I thought she would be going to Africa one day and that I'd miss her. She was always very noisy coming home, and I heard her just yell out, "Mum, we've got to do something about this. I don't even know what it's called, but they're my age. I've got to go and look on the internet." So she found what it was called, obstetric fistula. For me at that point, I know I hugged Beth and comforted her and said, "Oh, well, I'll help you to do something about it." And she ran with it, you know, for the little while that she could. She actually had been complaining about some eye problems before that, and we'd taken her to the eye doctor. We didn't know that, you know, that was actually the start of something pretty awful, and ended up being fatal, growing right in the central part of her brain.
I remember sitting in the hospital watching slowly as different parts of her were just stopping working. You know, when you get to a point where the doctor says that you have to stop giving her food, stop giving her water, and then watch her slowly decline. It's very difficult.
I felt like I had to say goodbye to her every day for 3 months. We were told that as soon as the tumour touched her, the part of her brain that controlled the breathing, that she could go very quickly. But that ended up being the very last thing that went. We can look in hindsight now and see, yeah, that was really unusual, that she could have genuine tears for women she'd never met.
She wanted to help these women, even at the age of 15.
We feel like we're healed enough to be able to have something to offer.
Yeah, I know Bethy would have wanted us to be involved in this.
We are the Wake family from Australia, and we have one more daughter, and she is in heaven, and her name is Bethany. Regina has had a huge loss in her life. That was pretty hard to hear. In her first pregnancy, she was in a very remote place, and so when her labour pains started, she didn't try to get to hospital. She was trying to have a home birth, but after 2 days, she knew she was in trouble, so she actually made her way to the hospital, but the baby had already died. So she knew that the long labour had caused the fistula. She's on her own here now. Her husband left her, and she talked about 10 years of being alone and no friends. So her sister convinced her to go to CCBRT. She said as soon as she saw other women with the problem, she knew she would be okay. So I see that she has had a sense of dignity restored to her. So although her living conditions are still very poor, she can actually get out and about and have life again. This is Bethy just before she got sick, and I know she would want to say hello and give you a hug, and she's so glad you are well now. When Bethany first talked about obstetric fistula, I'd never heard of the word, and so when we looked it up, found out a little bit more, you know, there is surgery and they can get it fixed. The surgery itself is about 30 to 40 minutes, and it is life-changing, and it's obviously pivotal in the whole fistula program, but the fistula program is so much more than that. It's about prevention, education, going right back to the grassroots of why the problems happen. I think I can already see the great hope that's here, just what an operation and the hope of that would mean. Bethany couldn't meet you, but I meet you today. Bethany was an ordinary girl, but she had an open heart. any person with an open heart, when they hear of these needs, there is something that they can do. But alone, it's very hard to do that alone. I think, it's together. When we join together, we can do a lot more.